Afro-Latina writer Gloria Oladipo at Vogue said, "Despite exhibiting symptoms of an eating disorder, it took a long time to be diagnosed because my Blackness did not fit the societal eating disorder stereotypes. It took meeting with a therapist of color to get the diagnosis that saved my life." Gloria's quote illustrates one experience, but also a much larger problem. Women of color receive mental health care at just 1/3 the rate of their white counterparts. When they do receive care, like Gloria, they face higher rates of misdiagnosis. Take eating disorders as an example. Black adolescents are less likely to be diagnosed with bulimia, although they are 50% more likely than their peers to display symptoms. And only 17% of practitioners recognize Black women's eating disorder behaviors as problematic, compared to 44% of practitioners that were able to identify this in white clients. And lastly, when it comes to assessing culturally competent care, a lot of Spanish speakers struggle because only 5% of US therapists speak Spanish. My name is Meghna, and I am a woman of color. Together with my team, Ido and Nicole, we did some customer discovery on mental health gaps for our communities. The common theme was this: in addition to therapy being taboo, it's difficult to find a therapist who understands your identities, and it's expensive. This is why we founded Menti, therapy for women of color by women of color. Menti is therapy that speaks to you, and as young women of color ourselves, my co-founders and I have experienced many of these pain points. We address 4 key pain points for therapy seekers in our target demographics: access, cost, personalization, and community. First, access and cost. If only 12% of US therapists are BIPOC, meaning they're buried in therapy databases and in many cases overbooked, where can you even go to find a BIPOC therapist taking new clients? This problem is compounded by the high costs of individual therapy. That's when we started investigating group therapy, which is just 1/3 of the price of an individual session, sometimes even less, but community-centric, and proven to be just as effective as individual therapy for disorders like anxiety, depression, and eating disorders. Menti leverages technology to bring together diverse therapy seekers with diverse therapists seeking clients for both one-on-one sessions, but also uniquely for 8-week-long identity-based group therapy to increase access to care and create a pipeline therapy for women of color. This is a pipeline that doesn't exist on larger, more mainstream platforms. Second, personalization and education. Menti empowers users to personalize their care through filters such as language and ethnic identity, coupled with educational modules to guide users in the choice of therapists, help them take charge of their care. Finally, community sets Menti apart from other databases because of our approach to group therapy sessions that enable groups to support each other and break down stigmas even between meetings via a therapist-monitored group chat. Our business model is phased. We plan to begin as a 2-sided marketplace, and our 2 user profiles are therapists and therapy seekers. First, therapists pay a monthly subscription fee to be on our platform, and therapy seekers use our platform for free, paying therapists directly for their services. We plan to expand this marketplace in the future to allow for holistic wellness practitioners of color like yoga instructors and nutritionists, but for now, our second target market are therapy seekers, who can use our platform for free to access the therapy database and basic content. However, our tiered monthly subscription offerings will allow these therapy seekers to choose from participation in their desired number of group therapy sessions, events, and other classes, as well as access premium content. After validating our approach and expanding our network of therapists, we intend to launch a B2B2C subscription model in which we partner with corporations and universities to provide our services to their employees, students, or communities at large. Why now? Before COVID-19, just 2% of people reported using telepsych. During the pandemic, that figure has increased to 85%. Plus, providers are much more open to telehealth and teletherapy in general, with 57% reporting more favorable views than before the pandemic. Lastly, there has also been a rise in teletherapy-friendly legislation and a new deserved spotlight being given to identity and race in professional environments through internal DEI initiatives. During customer discovery, we learned that universities and companies alike are already offering free therapy to their students and employees while looking to supplement this support for their employees of color. How can you help? Therapists, register for our platform. Therapy seekers, sign up for our waitlist. Our launch date for our first session will be June 1st. And companies and universities, reach out to see how you can support your employees. Help us help women of color get access to mental health care that they need. Thank you so much for your time.